3, 2, 1. Roll the footage. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Strategy Show. I'm Simon Severino, your host. Today with us, founder of X8 Media. She runs the top YouTube and TikTok channel that produces educational content for Generation Z. Hello, everybody. Jade, Darmawangsa.
Hi, Simon. Thanks for having me. I'm glad.
So cool to have you here. And you have some juicy CEO tips for us. We will talk why it's important to onboard Generation Z, why you should stay unpredictable in your marketing, and how you can focus on integrity. Integrity is not an Instagram strategy. It is something much more profound, and you will unpack that with us. So cool. First, what are you currently creating?
Well, right now, I would say on my YouTube channel, I do a lot of business vlogs. So I'll just talk to my camera about my day and just show my audience what I do at work, which is right now just on Zoom calls all day. As we speak, I am also getting ready to travel abroad. So I might throw in some travel content, but it's been good. So yeah.
Cool. What are they responding most to? So what are they interested in terms of your daily business?
In regards to my audience, or
Yeah.
I don't really know. I think I'm the opposite of a lot of marketers, where I don't create content to like appease someone else. Like I don't really care what people want. I just make what I want. And I think what I want is what people want, because authenticity speaks louder on social media than a perfect strategy. So if I'm really into making, I think at one point I made like a cooking vlog. My audience really likes it, and I think it's just about being authentic to myself. So the short answer is I don't really care.
Because my curiosity is about what is on the hearts and minds of the Generation Z. So
Yeah.
what are they preoccupied with or want to learn or to exchange?
Generation Z, which is, if you guys don't know, it's basically age 16 to 22 right now. I'm 19 years old, so I'm like in the middle. But I think the younger generation, or my generation, just wants authenticity. Like they don't really care about, for example, like obviously they care a lot about learning about marketing. Like a lot of people my age want to start a business, so marketing videos do really well. But I think at the same time, people value mistakes and honesty, and like talking about the time that maybe you've messed up on your business. Like I had a whole video where I talk about my failures. I have a whole video about where I talk about just things I screw up upon. I think it's combination with like trendy topics, which is in entrepreneurship and content, but also like reality, which is like I'm not perfect, or funny memes. And just I think it's more about like showing how you really feel versus trying to like lecture the audience. And then that's the key with relating to that younger generation.
Beautiful. Before we go to your CEO tips, we pass through the segment of the show that we call the Strategy Award. If you could pick only one person who is doing things different while everybody is zagging, they're zigging, who would that person be?
Oh, good question. It's actually going to be my friend. I would say my friend. Well, there's two. Can I pick two or only one more?
Okay.
I definitely think. So my friend has a media company, but he has been working in the industry for like 10 years. His name is Jason Lee. He's a good friend of mine, but I would say him just because he cares more about purpose over profit in his media company. And you can see that he doesn't really care about making more margins. He just genuinely cares about the people. And like, I know it's cheesy, no one likes to hear everyone wants to profit. I think he's doing something different. So Jason Lee from Jubilee Media.
Perfect. And you wanted to pick somebody else also?
Yeah, this one I don't really know, but her name is Michelle Phan. She is the top CEO at one of the top CEOs for the female founding companies. She has a company called Ipsy, and she's a very, very well-known person, but I really respect her.
Thank you. And now your CEO tip number one, onboarding young talent. Why? How?
Why? I don't know. I mean, it really depends. Like, and you can tell me, Simon, do you ever have clients or people that want to like where do you see the value in like Generation Z? I'm just curious.
We have currently, I think, 14 people from Generation Z. They are, we call it the global interns. So they are studying and they do an entrepreneurship program with us. So they contribute to our movement and they learn a lot about entrepreneurship. And they're really different. I couldn't say this is how they are because everybody is unique, and some of them are having a real great time and are learning like crazy, and some of them are just finding a ton of possibilities to figure out where their superpowers are. So trying different things, moving from that task to that task to that task. And I think it's important because at some point it will make click, but you need the chance to have this click. So you have to be free to move around and to try different tasks, and you will feel it when it makes click, and then you know that's your superpower, and that's where you can double down on. So, but I have only limited experience of 14 people, a couple years.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that like for like when it comes to wide support and I think to have Gen Z, it's like I think and this goes vice versa. Like I'm Gen Z, so I hang around with a lot of Gen Z, but also Gen X, and my parents are obviously older. I think that first of all, if you are a company or a brand, I'm assuming you're watching this podcast. Uh, I don't know if you okay, but I would assume that you're always trying to reach customers. And on the first part, Generation Z is the largest, fastest growing market, obviously, because by default they are about to grow and not dot. Like that sounds really dark, but like they're growing. So it's really about like a lot of people argue they're like, oh, Generation Z is not my customer base. They don't have money. But the next 10 years, they're going to be your customer base, and they're going to have money. So I think it's really important to invest in the long-term future. The second thing also is like I think on a more personal level, I think there is a miscommunication between generations. I think for the longest time, me and my dad, who is Generation X, couldn't communicate properly. Like he would want to like email me and like just text me, and we would argue over that. And it really just shows the level of empathy we have to have for other people. And if you can have empathy for other generations and literally like not even the texting thing, but just genuinely like understand someone else, you'll be a better marketer, because marketing is all about empathy, relating to someone, like showing people that, hey, like I understand you, my product resonates with you. Like I think hanging around with Generation Z is important on your marketing aspect to acquire the future customers, but also like I think that if you are a young person, hang out around with people that are not your age and have a level of empathy. When it comes to like recruiting talent, it's not that hard when you actually have empathy. Like a lot of people want to recruit young talent. A lot of like corporate companies do come to me and they're like, how do I get young people into my group? And then they don't actually care about like learning about them. So honestly, it sounds really cheesy, but you already know the recruitment methods. It's pretty much like you put a LinkedIn post or something and people come in. But if you start with empathy and you start with like understanding like genuine interest on Gen Z, you would find the Gen Z would come to you. You don't even have to come to them. So I definitely think that it's important to just have that skill and interact with people that are outside your typical normal circle.
You are also huge on TikTok. Let's talk TikTok, because in the last years I have been telling all companies who are much older, you have to go TikTok. It's now underappreciated, underleveraged. It's how Facebook was at the beginning, and it's how Instagram was at the beginning. And then they say, yeah, but there are just kids there, and then I said, this is exactly what everybody said at the beginning of Facebook and then at the beginning of Instagram. So it might be the next platform, and right now it's really much easier to get exposure there. It will change soon, so go there, find out. And but on the one
So I also think right now, at least, so just to add on to that, TikTok right now released something called a TikTok Creator Fund, where they are sharing out money to creators. And because of that, more and more creators are on it. I honestly think it's a little late. Like right now, it's not the same. Like I'm on the platform 6 months ago, way easier. Now it's harder. So for anyone that's missing the boat, it's already happening. So not to say like you can't hop on TikTok. It's just like it's already missing the boat. Like it's not, the conversation is no longer like, if you don't go on TikTok right now, you're gonna miss the boat. It's like if you don't go on TikTok right now, you already missed the boat, so you're behind. Like that's the conversation now.
And now let's say they listen to this and say, okay, I'm gonna do it before I miss the boat. I mean, do you see a couple of examples that people can relate to? Because what most established brands have difficulties in is first understanding that context and understanding how to communicate there, and then finding a way to express themselves appropriately there, but still being what they are. Because what they say is, okay, I'm not gonna dance. I am, I don't know, I'm Coca-Cola. I'm not going to dance to a song. So what can they try to really find the right expression there?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's only 40% of TikTok's audience is under 18. 60% are millennials. So just understand that. Second of all, there are a lot of brands that are not dancing. Chipotle, Glossier, Gymshark. There's a lot of brands. I would say my best recommendation is, you're right. Like if you don't dance, don't dance. That's weird. Only a fraction of TikTok content is dancing though. Like if you actually go on your For You page, which is the main feed for TikTok, like a small, like you're going to get a dancing video 1 out of 5. The other 4 content you can kind of look at and ask yourself, how can I add my spin on it? When I was consulting for a brand, I actually have I have a brand that does a lot of business content, and they're very, very serious. And how do you take a serious brand into this format? And we were looking, there's a trend where people were talking about fun facts in a very fast and exciting way. It was still a serious topic. It's just very entertaining. So they replicated it. They did that. And then now their TikTok has like 200,000 followers, and it's converting to leads for them. So it's really just about like, one, most people that say that they don't know how to apply TikTok content to their brand don't actually watch TikTok, because if you actually watch TikTok, it's not a lot of dancing. There's a lot of dancing for sure, but not a lot compared to so many other types of content. And the second thing is, I would recommend looking at some brands like Oberlo, which is a business company I work with. Gymshark is really doing good. And then Chipotle especially, they're killing it. Oh my God. They're literally making so many memes. It's great.
Wonderful. So, CEO tip number 2, stay unpredictable with your marketing. Can you unpack that?
Yes. Stay unpredictable. I honestly, it's like, even with this podcast, like I think it's really important to like have the off the cuff look. Like people want to just like, did she say that? Or like, if you can see by my mannerisms, I like, sometimes I say, I don't care. Or sometimes I say like, eh. And people are like, wait, what? And I think it's so important in any aspect. If you really want to engage someone, you have to be unpredictable, and not in an authentic way of like just being a bipolar person just to be like weird, but just to express, almost like so honest that it hurts. And I think it's really important, if you are a marketer, whether it's you're recording a podcast or like a piece of content, to like add things that don't make sense with the storyline. Or for example, if you're trying to make a marketing strategy, A/B tests, have 80% of your strategy be pretty safe and 20% like kind of weird and out there. And I think especially with a lot of bigger companies, they don't want to be unpredictable. They want to be predictable. But especially right now, because of technology, if you're unpredictable, you're irrelevant. And I think that there's definitely a taste in it. Like it's not about like just yelling into the camera and scaring people. That's like not what I'm trying to say. Because when people think unpredictable, they're like, oh, you have to be like really, really strange. But I don't think about it like that. I think about like, what are you really passionate about talking about right now? Like as a marketer or a brand, like what do you actually care about? Does it align with your current message? If it's not, then don't make. I literally don't understand right now where brands just make content just to post, because there's so much content right now. And I think it starts with like, what am I really caring about? And if you're like a business and you're like, Jade, I can't afford to care what I can care about, like you don't, again, like this is like the 20% of your marketing. But I think it's about like having that still, because that's what consumers really want to see.
One book that inspired you recently.
I would say I'm reading a book called How to Worry About Money Less. It's a really interesting book because the entire world tells you to worry about money and make more money. So the book How to Worry About Money Less by School of Life is an incredible book that is great for entrepreneurs. I know it's weird because I want to make money. You want to make money. Everyone wants to make money. But this book basically says like what's the purpose behind it, and it makes you really understand like wow, like there is no meaning behind just building, like what is the greater purpose. And it's a little bit of when you read it you're going to have an existential crisis, but it's a really good book.
What did you recently change your mind about?
I recently changed my mind about. I used to be really, really money hungry, actually. Like, I just want to build $1 billion agency like Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, that's all I wanted. Because I have an agency and I think it's great. Like, I love working with brands, making profit, yada, yada, yada. But I'm like, the thing that really changed my mind is actually after reading this book. I was like, what's the point in all of this? Like, why do I want to make more money? And then I kept answering that question. I was like, oh, I want to build a bigger team. And I'm like, why do I want to build a bigger team, right? And then I understood where it was actually not about like building a bigger team. It's I have an insecurity of not being independent, and I want to just like have all these things to make me feel better about myself. And it's so selfish. I was like, oh my God, like I don't actually care at all about helping other people grow their brand. I just want to feel independent and strong. And I've realized how messed up that is because I know people that do that to me and I don't like that. So I just realized like, I guess what I changed my mind about is like how I approach money. And I'm just trying to find a greater purpose in it, honestly. Like why? And there's not really an answer for me yet, just because I don't know yet. But I think it's like, why questioning the reason of growing a business, like the purpose and what good does that actually have to the world?
Your CEO tip number 3 is about integrity. What's your take on integrity?
I actually have to, let me look up the word again. I taught that at school, but I need to make sure I know the definition. Okay. Integrity is the quality of being honest. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. I knew that I was on it. Okay. Yeah. So integrity means when no one's looking, what are you doing? Like, are you honest? For the longest time, I would sit on the internet and be like, you guys have to grow on Instagram when I wasn't even doing anything of what I'm saying. And it's really annoying because I hate that. And maybe I'm just hard on myself. But I think integrity is about like, is what you're saying to others true to yourself? The importance is if you don't do that, the things you do for others are going to get a lack. There's not going to be a motivation behind it. Right now, I would say, especially for marketing, like a lot of brands promote, like if you promote sustainability, but you don't do sustainability, what's the point? Because consumers can see it. It's not even like about like being a good person. And trust me, I'm not like this fluffy, like greater purpose person. It's more just like consumers will find out, and you can you can see right now with the internet and Gen Z, like Gen Z wants social justice, social responsibility as a company is so important. So if you literally don't have integrity, your customers will find out. So with that being said, like you should actually care about being an honest person, but if you can't, understand the repercussions of that if you don't.
Who should be my next guest?
You should talk to, let's see, I have a friend named, I would say, let me come back to you on that, but off the bat, I can say that my friend Matt Carley is a good person to talk to. He runs a really big entrepreneurship group, and he's very, very wise in community building, but let me think about it because I'm not sure.
Where can people stay in touch with you?
So if you want to keep in touch with me, I am Jade Darmawangsa. You can see my username on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, and everything. And you can feel free to DM me if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Jade, for being here and sharing your journey and your wisdom with us. Thank you so much. Have a great day.